episode, what is this, 32 of the
32.
Buzz and Roar show. Y'all, we are so absolutely happy to have you. We have not figured out a good Hornets player with the number 32 that's notable, but that's okay. We're going to put this show in the rafters like always.
Yes.
I am here joined with my co-host, Ethan Pepper. How are you doing, brother?
Amazing. Okay, of course not as happy if the Hornets, beat the Magic, but we'll get into that in a second here. We'll get into it.
We try to keep the vibes high.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get a little bit into the Hornets who have, ended their season. And we'll get into on if it was on a high note or a low note, and we'll of course talk about our wonderful Panthers. We'll talk about our wonderful Knights. But we are going to, praise a little bit over Panthers because at least as we're recording this is Panthers draft night, which is exciting. But just as a little show note, we are probably going to do a special episode next episode. So we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the show.
So my plan right now is to do it next Tuesday, and then we just skip over the Panthers this whole episode.
Cool. Sounds good. So yeah, expect that, but we'll just play the sound effect and let's get into the podcast.
Yeah.
So, Ethan, the Hornets lose. The game was a heartbreaker. Yeah. I remember I was at the draft watch party and I literally went home early just because I'm like, this is totally a watch the game in my apartment kind of ending. And there's a lot of people that say, that after the first quarter, the differentials were actually quite solid. It was a terrible first quarter that did not go that horribly for the rest of the game. There's a lot of really crazy basketball thoughts, but I'm curious to know your thought as a fan. We've talked a lot about disappointment, talked a lot about gauging our opinions and all that kind of stuff, but are you sad? Are you, obviously you said at the beginning you'd be happier if we were still playing, but at the end of the day, was that loss so bad that we are now going like, oh, Hornets are back, we're cursed, it's still terrible, or like, are we still in a good mood? What's your take?
I mean, we talked about disappointment a couple of weeks ago. No, I'm definitely not disappointed. Of course, I would have loved to win this game. But, I mean, no, the old Hornets are not back. I don't think that. I do not think that, the old Hornets, quote-unquote, are back. I don't think, next season we're just going to have another 19-win season. I think this is kind of what the tone is going to be set at the start of the year in this upcoming season. I think this upcoming season, we're going to be happy going into it because maybe we have a good draft, maybe we have a good this, maybe we have just a good offseason in general. Then we go into the season thinking, okay, our goals this year, skip the play and let's make the playoffs. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Who said that? I don't know. But it sounds awesome to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in general, no, I'm not disappointed. And I mean, you can't really be disappointed. You can't. Of course, once again, you're sad about the loss. You would have loved to play a 7-game series with Detroit, which it seems like the Magic might beat them. I don't know. But I mean, and by the way, that makes me feel happier about us losing to the Magic. That
Agreed.
They whooped
Absolutely.
the Pistons.
Agreed.
That makes me feel a lot more happy about us
if
losing
they
to
go
the
on to
Magic.
Take them down,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Go Buds. Go
I was like, woohoo! Yeah, we're not bad anymore. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I mean, what's yours?
I mean, I think you're kind of hit the money right there, is that you just really can't be disappointed in a plus 500 season after a 19-win season, just because I think we even look back to differentiate. It was like, not only just for the Hornets, but for leagues, for teams, for franchises, for ball clubs in general. We took one of the like most impressive leaps that you really can take in terms of, it really was just injury. Like, we do clash together. This is a play style that works. We can build off of this. These are all things that we definitely feel and that have not gone away because of a bad play-in game, especially since I would argue it was a bad play-in game and a great play-in game. Obviously, that win against the Miami Heat, it still exists. I still remember it, and that was still well fought. There were so many times where during that play-in game, I was like, "We're done. It's over."
Especially at the end of the game.
I had an actual post game that said that we lost, pasted into my teleprompter on CapCut. That's how sure I was that we were going to lose, and I had to backspace delete it. So, we are a great team. We know how to play when the lights are bright, but ultimately, the Orlando Magic, they had something in their blood that night that just, it allowed them to get off to a start that, it was magic. It was magic.
Yes. I mean, you got to give credit to the Magic. They played an outstanding game against a good Hornets team. Okay, you can't go out there and say, yes, we played bad, but the Magic just played phenomenal. That was in my lifetime, I'm being honest, I don't remember the last time I have seen that physical of a game played by one team in my lifetime. Like, you have to give credit to the Magic there. And like you said about the Heat game, that game's still in our past, okay? That proved that we can go out there and win a playoff game or a play-in game in a playoff atmosphere. We just have to go out there and do that multiple times in a row. Like, we did it once. Can we go do it again in a different situational, thing? Of course, we couldn't succeed that in against the Magic, but like that Heat game definitely proved to me that we are not going to fall back again this upcoming season to 19 wins, and we are going to keep on pushing forward each and every year. And I do think we could have a huge jump this upcoming season if everything goes right.
Absolutely. And speaking of jumps, speaking of, that the end of that season, I do want to talk a little bit about, our rookie in the name of Knippel. I think every other rookie here had not only an amazing season, but an amazing postseason. Even Liam McNeely, who had 3 minutes in that second game against the Magic, has a positive plus minus in his, 3 minutes of game time. So really it is every rookie who had a great postseason. There's no argument to be made that Knippel had a good postseason. Now, we can move over that's a back injury. We can move over lights being too bright, and that's conversations that we can have continuously over the offseason, and I'd like to have them with you. But ultimately, at the time of recording this, they still have not announced Rookie of the Year, so I'd be interested in hearing, your arguments. Obviously, media rules say that these postseason games shouldn't count, but do we think they will? Did we just watch our rookie completely squander the conversation that we were trying to have? Or, hey, it's okay, there's still arguments, and maybe we can, or should we just kind of surrender that hope a little bit?
Well, first of all, the Rookie of the Year probably isn't even going to get voted until next week, because last Monday when the playoffs were starting, they were saying, okay, this is when the MVPs get announced. This is when defense play. They had a little schedule. I think this week they're going to make another schedule and then announce the Rookie of the Year.
Right.
Of course, you made a point. Would the playoffs matter? I don't think so. And honest to goodness gracious, you said it on your story a couple weeks ago, your Instagram story. You said, hey, let's look at Knippel stats compared to Cooper Flag stats. So Knippel, he got 6 points last night. Cooper Flag, wait a minute.
No postseason stats to reference. Yeah.
Wait a second. Knippel got his team to the postseason. Okay, of course he wasn't the only person, but he was a huge factor. I'd vouch to say if we didn't have Knippel, we would have probably had another 19-win season just about. Okay, and so, all I'm saying is this. I personally, unbiased, in as much as unbiased as possible, I do believe probably deserves it. I have a feeling he's not going to win it, and I hate it for him. But I do personally think he deserves it.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree. I think he deserves it, obviously. I think also that there are times that it goes, who's the better player, who has the higher peaks, who's got the most potential. These are not questions that we're being asked. We're asking who was the best rookie on a winning, contributing team. Rookies of the Year very, 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 very rarely get awarded to teams that just do nothing. The Mavericks, I guess, have theoretically done something, but a lot of the notable things that they've done have involved Cooper Flag going crazy. So, I would say that these media members are smart. The people who are voting on this read the rules, and that I'd hope that a disastrous, no matter how bad of a postseason game Knippel had, that you're right, it's infinitely better than anything that Cooper Flag did in the postseason, so hopefully that is there. But the last time we watched Knippel play basketball, it was bad. The last time we watched Cooper Flag play basketball, it was amazing. And that is a really hard fact to ignore. Yeah.
I don't know what really else to say besides the fact that I do believe the media members are probably going to, and once again, you can't stop the media members from not looking at the postseason. They're NBA fans. They watched the Hornets game. Okay, they went out there and watched the Hornets game just like we did. Okay, and they saw Knippel doing bad. They have the exact same thoughts as we have. Okay, they have the exact same thoughts that he should have gotten it. In general, but. Does Cooper Flag's 45 and 50 point nights, overtake that? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That's
sure.
kind of my last little point on that.
would have been nice if Con Knipple, and we were doing a playoff run, so we can't. But it would have been nice if maybe at some points we had a game that we said, okay, doesn't really matter if we win or lose. Let's just feed Con for a whole ball game so we can let him. Because that's what they did with Cooper Flagg. I'm not saying it's not impressive, but every Maverick got together and said, we have nothing to fight for except for getting this guy Rookie of the Year. Feed the ball to him. And that's how we got a 50-point ball game.
I was about to say, that's how we got his 50 points.
Right. So if we had allowed if we had allowed Con to do that, then this would be an open and shut conversation. But the fact that we didn't means that some media members are, curious if he can do it. But, while we're talking about draft picks, Con was a 4th overall pick, which means we jumped a little bit in lottery odds last year. But ultimately, I think we were supposed to be getting the 5th overall pick, and we got the 4th overall pick. There was a huge jump in the person who got Cooper Flagg, going from, I think, 13th or 14th overall odds to get the 1st overall pick, and they jumped all the way up. That's where we land now.
Yep.
I believe with 0.5% chance to get number 1, and with like a 14% chance or maybe less to land in the lottery. Curious to know, top 4, not lottery. We will get a lottery pick no matter what. Curious to know what your thoughts are on that. Do we care? Is this a Jeff Peterson look for another savior in the draft, or is this really an offseason about reps?
Now, I actually kind of have a little bit more than anything else written down on like a separate doc for this, so I kind of want to go into a little bit more detail, then I'll let you talk for just a second.
Totally.
So, is there any chance in the world, my first question is this, is there any chance in the world that we trade one of our 2 first-round picks back? Which, of course, most likely it'd be the 18th and not the lottery, because remember, we have the lottery pick 14th, could jump up to 13th, 12th, 1st, I don't care. And we have the 18th, okay? All the way back to the 2nd round. Of course, yes. I think yes. I think there is a chance that we trade it back for maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 second-round picks if we're lucky. Probably not 3, but if we're lucky, we could. Because now that we see our potential, and now that we finally have a core 5 starting lineup that we can really, develop off of, it almost makes me wonder, isn't the number 1 priority depth over superstar MVP players? You know what I mean? And to get that depth, what do we have to get? More picks. We have to get more picks. Do we even have a 2nd-round pick? I don't remember if we do. If you could search that up for me.
I'll find out for you.
Yeah. But either way, if we do, it's probably only 1, maybe 2. If we could get 3 second-round picks, that's 3 guys who could go out there. And if we pick some, good basketball players, then that would be...
We lost it for the Terry Rozier. We did have it. The NBA took it from us for Terry Rozier.
I forgot about that. But that's even better. That makes my point even more, that we should possibly trade back in the draft on that 18th spot to get maybe 1, 2, once again, maybe 3 second-rounders because of the fact that we can work depth into this. If we can get a lot of depth in this draft and then go out there and get a center in, you could pick a center in the draft. I would vouch to say the center room isn't as good as we've seen the past couple seasons. And so my thought process is, if we want a center, go grab one from free agency or trade. Maybe draft someone, then trade him for a center in the offseason. I don't know. But my thing is this. If we don't trade anything, if we just have the first 2 picks, I do have a little bit of a mock first-round draft. If I was the Hornets, if we are let's just say we're the 14th pick, because knowing the lottery, we're probably not going to get the Mavericks odds. People are actually investigating that, saying it's rigged. They're going into a deep, the NBA's media staff said that it was rigged, and so they're going into a deeper investigation. But either way, my pick would be Isaiah Evans. Okay, and the main reason is because, yes, we have a lot of good guards, but this guy is a shooting guard and a small forward. He's pretty big, and it's another Duke connection. And on top of that, Listen, I'm a Tar Heels fan. I hate to say it, but in what I've seen against him whooping us in the paint is that he is unstoppable in the paint. We are the best three-point shooting team in the league via our rookies. What if we get the best inside scorer via our rookies? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if we go out there and, like last season we got the best three-point shooters. This season we go out there and, like, pair up Sion James, who's already a good inside scorer, and give him Isaiah Evans to go get another Duke connection with Con Knipple, then go get another inside scorer, and he can shoot pretty good three balls. Okay, yeah. And so somebody who can, like, you know, post up against I don't know, Nikola Jokic, even though he's not that tall, and still make it. Nikola Jokic is tall. I'm talking about Isaiah Evans, just to clarify. You know, that would be awesome. Okay, now at the 18th spot, I would choose someone who's a little bit controversial, but he's expected to be, because he's expected to be picked at 25. But I was doing a little bit of a research. And this is crazy. People are probably going to go like, no, we need to, you know, get some random French guy. No, we already have Tijon. But we need a center. And yes, I was just talking about how, you know, the center room is not that great this season.
Yep.
But we do need a center. And if we were to get a center, I think the best choice is somebody who's actually mocked to go 25th to the LA Lakers, Morez Johnson from Michigan. I think it'd be worth it.
Yeah, I've seen people talk about that too.
Yes, and I think it would really amp up the center room, and we could, you know, make some moves in the offseason. Maybe if we wanted to, and I'm not saying yes, but maybe if we needed to or wanted to, we could trade Kalkbrenner. Then think about this. We would have Morez Johnson, Moussa Diabate, and a Domantas Sabonis or some, you know, if we got a superstar player via Kalkbrenner. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be a stacked center room. Okay, that's three solid centers. And so that's my in general thoughts about the draft. If you want to, you know, continue it from there. I wrote that down about 30 minutes ago, actually.
I like it. I think we need a bully. We need, you know, the only thing that I'd say about Morez Johnson is that probably is a pretty great comparison to Moussa Diabate in terms of, like, height, in terms of body mass, in terms of physicality. He can shoot a little bit better, which is solid. You know, a 62% field goal percentage where Moose is like a 40. But, you know, when it actually comes to, like, connecting in the paint, you're right. You know, like, he's a much better in the paint scorer, which I appreciate. Ultimately, I think that I need to see where we land. And I know that that's such a silly thing to say because, like, obvious, but, like, as a Hornets fan, you kind of learn to really look at these things as, like, what is it, 16, 17 days of the day of recording this is when we actually choose the lottery odds. So, yeah, 18th overall, great, but if we get a first, second, third, fourth, fifth round pick, I do not think we are claiming it. No. Honestly, maybe even if it's deeper, it's important to understand that we have 9 first-round picks throughout 2029. That's insane. This is not, like, it's a lot of first-round picks. So trading them to a team, and, you know, I'm just going to say it out loud because it's fine, but trading them to a team for a Bam Adebayo, for a Giannis Antetokounmpo, for a Domantas Sabonis, for a, you know, even like a Nick Claxton from the Nets. Of just a team who is, they're giving up their center who might be one of their best pieces because they just have nothing and they have no future without draft picks. And so it's not even saying that they want to get rid of a Nick Claxton or a Domantas Sabonis or a Giannis Antetokounmpo. They literally can't say no to an offer where we send them, you know, even half of our first-round picks that we have until 2029, and we still have a solid pack. So I would say that especially if we land high up, we're calling Milwaukee and saying, do you want the first overall? Do you want the 5th overall? Do you want the 7th overall? Plus 4 more picks, Miles Bridges. We're going to deal that in the offseason. We won't even be picking it. It's not going to be our choice. We don't care about it. We don't going to look at it. Like, I think we're taking that 18th pick, but wherever in the lottery we land, we're trading it. That's what I think.
You do think we're going to trade it?
I think we're going to trade our lottery pick because of stacking that along with our other picks in 2029. We can get almost whoever we want. And I mean, like, literally whoever we want because we can make a deal that doesn't hurt us too bad. That also says it's a, you know, the most pick-rich deal on the entire table. So, like, you can't say no to it. Who was that person who they traded for? I don't think it was Devin Booker, but they traded, like, 6 first-round picks. I think it was for Chris Paul. And it was just like, hey, how on earth, like, Chris Paul is not, like, great, but 6 first-round picks for any player is just insane. But we could send an offer like 6 first-round picks and still have picks for the next couple of seasons. Like, that's not everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see it happening, and if maybe it doesn't happen, I can at least see us making a lot of phone calls. So that's where I am.
Now, I do want to ask you something. Of course, it's been getting rumored by Bill Simmons, stuff like this. Do you think at all, of course, we don't have this down in our notes, but do you think at all, even just a tiny little bit, that the man, the myth, the legend, LaMelo Ball tripped him himself, Bam Adebayo, could be a Charlotte Hornet by the end of this offseason? Because you mentioned him in that little, when you were talking about who we were going to trade for, the little water ball flip there, nice. But do you think that Bam Adebayo is somebody not only that we could get, but also that we should get? Because, he's kind of getting up there in age, but would that be somebody that would help us make a run, or would it hurt us?
I see Bam Adebayo is to the Hornets as what Jimmy Butler was to the Warriors. Cool, probably sell tickets. I'm not even saying it doesn't hurt culture. I'm not even saying he wouldn't subscribe to our mentality. But ultimately, I think it's just too much of a... He's too much of a risk. He's too much of a personality. He's too much of a, I guess, like him and LaMelo, even both of them sounded like, I don't really think there's any beef with them. I'm not thinking that's the issue, but ultimately, that's a lot of pretty big stars clashing here. And I think that it would have to be one of those things where if we called the Miami Heat and wanted Bam Adebayo, he's ours. Because with love to the Miami Heat, we can overpay for him. We can send an offer to the Miami Heat that doesn't hurt the Hornets too bad, and it would make the Miami Heat say we literally have to say yes to this. But I think that we could send that same offer to a lot of other teams. You know what I mean? I think we're sending that to the Kings for Domantas Sabonis before we send it to the Heat for Bam.
Yeah.
I think we send it to the Nets for Nick Claxton before we send it for Bam. Nick Claxton is from the Carolinas. Nick Claxton, was younger. He's more on our development timeline. He seems to be rotting away on the Nets. Like, I think that, but that's more where I see us going. Now, if all of them say no, and, fourth on the list is Bam Adebayo, and we're sure that we want to make one of these trades, it could happen. I'm not saying no. But ultimately, I think Jeff Peterson's a little craftier.
Yeah, so you'd almost say we could get more for what we would give up for Bam than Bam Adebayo himself. Yes. Okay, yeah. Yes. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I will say, if we got Bam Adebayo, he would probably definitely amp it up, but I do like I love the Jimmy Butler comparison there, because it would probably just be one of those kind of like, he's there, he got 15 points last night. I didn't even hear his name called once, or something like that, because you know what I'm saying. And
injury prone, just because of his age. You know what I mean? Like Bam Adebayo. Jimmy Butler did not play in a good portion of the Warriors season this year because of pure incapability.
Yeah. Now, any center that you could get right now, I want to focus it. We have been talking a little bit about the center, but I want to focus it straight on to the center position this offseason, okay? I want you to take the lead on this one, but in the offseason, what do you think we can do about the center position, okay? I talked about it on actually the play-in preview. I don't know why I mentioned it. I kind of winged it, and me and Charlotte Enthusiast talked about it a couple weeks ago on that play-in preview against the Heat, and we talked about how we're going to need a center at some point. Like, is Kalkbrenner and Moose going to be the ones that's going to lead us to an NBA Finals? I want it to happen, but are we going to have Moussa Diabate in Game 7 of the NBA Finals in 5 years matched up against 29-year-old prime Victor Wembanyama? No. Heck no. He's going to score 50 on us every single game. Okay? You know what I'm trying to say? So I kind of want to give you the floor here. What should we do about the center position? Should we leave it? Do you personally think we should leave it as is this upcoming season? Figure some stuff out the next season? I don't know. Just take the floor.
Once again, it's going to depend on where we land in the lottery. It just will. But ultimately, I know I just said this name a couple times. I really like Nick Claxton.
Yes.
Why? I think that the Brooklyn Nets don't care about anything and will kind of accept any trade just because they want to shake up. I could see something like Miles Bridges for Nick Claxton straight up. And I could see Nick Claxton, who I'm not trying to be rude. I really like Nick Claxton a lot. He's rotting away on the Brooklyn Nets. Like they're not using him. They don't care about him. But that guy he's a double creator. He can assist. He can rebound. He can points. Everything is solid. And most importantly, he can develop. And a lot of the things that we like about the culture of, a guy like, hey, he's from the Carolinas. He was born in Greenville, South Carolina, which is where I'm from. Shout out. I also know that he is a dude who he's got kind of a fun personality, but the Nets just kind of don't let him have it. I think it's someone who we could get for so cheap. It has a much higher high than anyone is letting it have. Other than that, I mean, if we're looking at teams who just don't exist, like Domantas Sabonis. I love the Kings. The Kings are cool, but it doesn't look like the Kings want Domantas Sabonis for even what they're maybe trying to do. So, Russell Westbrook isn't going to be on the Kings anymore. There's this weird group of players on the Kings that I feel like are just, like Charlie Puth says, one call away, and we can have them on kind of, it's just make some phone calls and see what they'll do with them. But ultimately, if everyone's like, no, let's call up Nick Claxton, because I really think that that's a guy who we could integrate into our current Kalkbrenner, Moussa Diabate. Nick Claxton can play that, more physical, tall boy kind of mentality. That's where I feel like he's a physical Ryan Kalkbrenner. And Ryan Kalkbrenner's going to develop. Moussa Diabate is going to develop. These guys are brand new players, but Nick Claxton fits their timeline as well.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
And, I mean, like you said, you wanted a bully. This guy is a bully. He's almost 7 foot. And, by the way, in no way, shape, or form is he bad. I think he's getting almost underdeveloped on a team that's trying to develop other guys because
he's running away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so, he gets 30 minutes a night, just about 27 this season. He averaged 12 points. I mean, of course, he can't shoot threes, but 7 rebounds. In his whole career, he's averaged about 9 rebounds. He was injured a lot this season. And, I mean, 4 assists, a steal, a block a game, only about half a turnover. I mean, looking at his stats, it's definitely somebody that, as you said, especially with him only being 27 years old, that's
he's a little bit more on our timeline. Exactly.
If we develop him good one season, then we have prime Nicholas Claxton on our team. And like you said, it's probably something that we could get him for really, really cheap. To be honest, I actually like what you said about that because we could probably go out there and if we trade back at the 18th spot, we could maybe trade a second rounder for Nicholas Claxton himself in the draft this season straight up. Okay. And so there's a lot to factor in about the center position. Of course, we'll keep you guys updated here on the Buzz Nerd Show. But is there any last Hornets thoughts? And then we will finish this episode off with some Charlotte Knights because I do have a special guest coming on this Tuesday for the Carolina Panthers.
Amen. No, that's it. Let's go ahead and play just the Knights sound effect. No,
just the Knights. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Ooh, woo. Okay, so we're back on the baseball diamond. I think I've said that every single time that I've been here. He's taken off his hat because we're finally back to the Knights. Okay, I mean, you mentioned San Antonacci. I can't even say his name. Yes, Antonocci. He got called up after his really efficient games after making his first major league debut. And he's the guy who led Team Italy to a semifinals appearance in the World Baseball Classic. So for the record, he's probably going to end up getting to the Chicago White Sox. Of course, slowly develop him. But right now, we have him. Okay, right now, the Knights have him. Okay, and so go ahead. The floor is yours. How do you feel about him?
Yeah, he's fine. And actually, to a small correction there, he was on the Knights. He is now on the White
really?
Sox.
Oh.
Yes, indeed. So what I'm saying is, he was here for, I think, 14 games and batted plus 400 in his appearances here. So, was definitely going to be bound for the White Sox anyways, and we'll keep you updated here on the Buzz and Roar show about his appearance on the White Sox, which he has not actually had an at-bat yet. I'm guessing they're just getting him into the facilities, but usually when they pull a minor leaguer up and don't play him right away, that usually means that they are trying to get him maybe more integrated than we think, which is what I was trying to say is like, if they're looking for apartment stipends or looking for, move up your underwear and your socks and all that kind of stuff, it usually means we're going to keep you here. And that's kind of the, only question that I'll send it back your way is just the White Sox need an efficient bat. He's a solid outfielder. I mean, is Salem Tanucci just going to stay there anyway? And obviously, he's played, in the World Baseball Classic for Team Italy, and he made it far with that team, the furthest that team has ever made it. So, as with respect to the White Sox, with their fields right now, this isn't even that intensive. It's not even that intensive an upgrade. So, just curious to know your general thoughts on that.
I mean, he's going to be good for the White Sox. And I mean, like you mentioned, he led Team Italy to the World Baseball Classic semifinals. I can't remember who they played. It was, gosh, I don't even know. But, I mean, I'm sure he's done great for the Knights. And I kind of want to go off of him for just a second. I know we are talking about him. But
never mind. He's
had
3 at-bats. He's had 3 at-bats against the Diamondbacks today and has gone 0 for 3. But that's totally fine.
Oh, well, perfect.
It's totally fine.
Rookie nerves.
Yeah, right,
no, but
exactly.
I was looking at it. I was curious. Because I didn't write anything down myself for the Knights, but I was curious if anybody got called up, because we're seeing a lot of people from the Knights get called up to the MLB or even get called down. I was looking at it. There's a lot of people who just got assigned to the Charlotte Knights. Let me read you. So, right-handed pitcher Riley Gowans from the Birmingham Barons has been assigned to the Charlotte Knights. Third baseman Ryan Galaney, I think, assigned to the Charlotte Knights from the Birmingham Barons. Outfielder Caden Connor assigned to the Charlotte Knights from the Birmingham Barons.
Caden Connor.
Yes. And second baseman Riku Nishida. I don't know how to say these names, but he was also assigned to the Knights from the Birmingham Barons. Okay, I mean, we have a lot of depth. Of course, it might not be the best depth, but I mean, with this depth that we're getting from the Barons, and I mean, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, the Barons and the Winston-Salem Dash, I think that's their name, are both really good teams, so we know that the guys in those, AA and high A affiliates are going to be really stinking good. We just have to develop them correctly and make sure that we don't give up on developing.
Absolutely, yeah, and I mean that's kind of what the White Sox are expecting us to do. That's what we'll continue to do, and I'm actually going to be going to some coverage. I'll be at 2 of the games this weekend, so I'm going to try to get us a little bit more in depth on these new guys. I'm going to get my eyes on them, and especially as we focus on some of the Panthers stuff that I'll let you talk a little bit more about that episode. I'll let you all know that I'm going to try to get my my brain really wrapped around the next 160 games of the Knights for you guys, and help Ethan comprehend a little bit more of that. And then I mean, do you want to talk a little bit more about what's happening with the Panthers episode, and then we'll cap it off?
Yeah, so this upcoming Tuesday, I'm not going to reveal who's coming on yet, but he is really, he's a really entertaining person, and it's not going to be Lee. He's boring. I'm kidding, Lee. Don't leave. No, but Lee, he is not going to be there, and so I have somebody else this Tuesday to join me on the show. I mean, he's got the same energy as Lee, so it's basically just Lee's twin, but, Panthers themed. And so very excited to have him on the show once again. I'm not going to reveal it yet. I'm sure I'll reveal it probably this Sunday or Monday. But the draft is, as we're recording it today, when it comes out,
tonight.
The draft will still technically be tonight because it'll be Saturday. But we're just going to do a draft analysis, maybe a little bit of off-season outlooks, and then it'll just be completely Buzz and Roar off-season, except for the Knights. For the rest, until however when, I don't know.
And until I was going to say, it depends on how high of a lottery pick the Hornets get.
Yeah.
Come back.
yeah. And of course, we'll still be recording episodes, of course, during the off season. But I mean, that's about it for the just a little bit of a teaser Panthers thing there. Of course, there will be some more updated information throughout the weekend.
Heck yeah. Thank you all for watching. And tune into episode 33 next week, where we, I guess, talk a tiny bit about the Panthers. And it's not even next week. I mean, episode 33 will be within the week. So enjoy. See y'all.